Hello everyone! Today we have our second lesson on Google Sheets. In this lesson I will show you how to work with sheets. You will learn how to use them, why they are needed, and what they actually are. I will also teach you how to freeze columns and rows, and how to quickly copy data within a spreadsheet. Let's get started. Let's say we have the following data in a table. Everything you see here is a sheet. Where can we find it? Right here. The tab says Sheet 1. If we right-click on it, we will see a menu with different options for working with the sheet. We can rename it, copy it to a new spreadsheet, copy it within the same spreadsheet, duplicate it directly in this spreadsheet, change its color or assign a specific color. There are also additional features such as sheet protection, but we won't discuss that today. That's a topic for another video. Some options in this menu may be unavailable. Why? Because right now we have only one sheet in the entire spreadsheet, and you cannot delete the last remaining sheet. To activate these options, we need to, for example, create a duplicate of this sheet. As you can see, we have created a copy of this sheet. Now let's rename it, right-click on it, and you will notice that new options have appeared, ones that were not visible before. Let's click Move Left, and the sheet will simply shift to the side. Now let's rename it as I mentioned. We can give it any name, and essentially it will be an exact copy of our previous sheet. If we switch to it now, we won't see any difference. We can also group multiple sheets together for working with them at the same time. For example, if we hold the Shift key, select one sheet, then select another sheet, and then right-click. Don't forget to release Shift first. Both sheets will be highlighted in gray. Now we can perform various actions on multiple sheets at once. Let's click Duplicate, and as you can see, we have created a duplicate of two sheets that we previously worked with. We can select even more sheets and repeat the same process with them. This allows us to create multiple sheets or work with multiple sheets at the same time. Now I have selected 4 sheets. If I want to move them, I can do so. Let's move them to the right. When we move them, the sheets on the left shift to the side, and just like that, our sheets have been rearranged. If we now click anywhere else, our selection will be cleared, and we will return to working with a single specific sheet. When working with many sheets that have different names, it can be difficult to navigate through them efficiently. To help with this, Google Sheets has a special button called All Sheets. Clicking on it allows us to quickly find and jump to the sheet we need. As you can see, here it is. Not many people know that there is another way to do this. There is a special panel here that we can open. Once opened, we can also jump between each sheet that has been created. This is more related to named ranges. I will not talk about this, but you should know that this method also allows you to quickly switch between the sheets you need. Switching to our Sheet 1, and now I will show you how to quickly copy certain data. Let's, for example, add another column on the left, and let's say we add numbering here. Let's assume that a lot of data will be added downward, and we need to number each row that contains data. So 1, 2, 3 and so on infinitely, or at least until we reach the end of the sheet with our tables and rows. To simply copy data, we can select the required data, press Ctrl C, select a cell, and press Ctrl V. The data will be inserted. Let's now add a lot of such data. As you can see, there is a large amount of it, and now, for example, I have a task to quickly extend this numbering downward so that I don't have to manually enter 5, 6, 7, 8 and so on. To do this, there is a magic button right here in the bottom right corner of our cell. When we hover over it, a small plus sign appears. And if we hold Ctrl and double click on this plus sign, all the numbers will automatically extend downward, continuing the numbering in the correct order. They will extend until the moment when there are no more data-filled cells in the column to the right or to the left, since in our case there is nothing on the left. If the data in the right column ends, the numbering will stop. However, there is one important detail. If there are no data-filled cells here, but there are some further down, the data will not copy further downward. This function only works up to the last continuously filled field in a sequence, so let's delete it and try again. For example, let me show you another way. Instead of using quick data copying downward, you can hold Ctrl, grab the small cross, and simply drag it down to the required number of rows. Then, release the left mouse button, and all the numbers will be extended correctly. However, sometimes we don't need automatic numbering when copying data. To prevent this, we simply don't hold Ctrl while dragging. Instead, just drag it downward without holding Ctrl, release the left mouse button, and the same number will be copied instead of continuing the sequence. You can do this with any type of data in the table. If you drag downward, the data will copy downward. If you drag to the right, the data will copy to the right. For text values, copying and number increments do not work. For example, if we enter 1 in a cell and then hold Ctrl while dragging down, it will not work because it is recognized as text. For text, it works the opposite way. We don't need to hold Ctrl, just drag it down, and it will automatically number the rows. The same applies when dragging horizontally. Now let's focus on a specific issue. When we scroll down, it becomes unclear what is what in the table. At first, we might intuitively understand it, but as more data is added, we may no longer remember what is in this column, what is in that column, and so on. To fix this, we can freeze a row or a column. For now, let's work with a row. Let's say we want to freeze this row so that it remains visible when we scroll down. To do this, we go to View, Freeze, and we choose how many rows we want to freeze. We can freeze a specific number of rows, or freeze up to a selected row. I will do that now. Now when I scroll down, this row remains fixed at the top. We can do the same with columns. Select column A, then go to View, Freeze, up to column A. Now when scrolling horizontally, column A will always stay in place. There is also a faster way to freeze rows. As you can see, there is a gray bar here. If we click and drag it downward, it will freeze the rows above it. However, in this case, an error occurred because some cells were merged into one. When we try to drag the bar, it creates a conflict. To fix this, we need to unmerge the cells and drag the bar again. Now everything works and we have two frozen columns while scrolling. The same method can be used for rows. Just drag the bar as far as needed. I think this part is clear. Now let's move on to the last part of the lesson, working with sheets. I want to remove all the sheets that I don't need except for these two. I select them one by one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They are all highlighted. I right-click and select Delete. A confirmation appears asking if I want to delete all 5 sheets. I confirm and they are deleted. But there is still one more sheet left. Let's delete it as well. Now I will change the color of this sheet. For example, I don't want anyone to see this first sheet. To hide it, I right-click on it and select Hide Sheet. As a result, the sheet disappears. However, I can still find and restore it by opening the All Sheets menu. From there, I can unhide and access it again. I hope everything is clear, working with rows, columns, copying data, and managing sheets. If you like this video, leave a like and don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Thank you. See you in the next lesson.